Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching. And with the help of Academy Soccer Coach, I'd like to talk to you about a U12 session I've created for finding switches to create crosses. So, what I've got here is I've split up the field in half, with this side being more of my technical um, side where I'm trying to introduce the skills they'll need to get the actual tactical concepts achieved on the field. And then over here, we've got more of our game like situations. So, over here, what I would do to start, and I like to start most U12 sessions with a 1v1 to develop those 1v1 skills, the dribbling skills, getting them comfortable on the ball. I would have multiple players, but for the size of the field here, we'll just have these two demoing the drill. They'll go 1v1, and I like to call this a continuous 1v1 because there would be 3 or 4 other 1v1 groups playing, okay, for a total of 12 players. They'll go 1v1. This is a good chance for you to get your goalies working on somewhere else. With your assistant coach, or if they have a good relationship, they can work together, just getting punts or something specific for them. But here you want to kind of tone down the numbers a little bit. So if you have goalies, sometimes you want to get them involved in terms of technical work, but here, just to kind of thin out the numbers, because what's going to happen is in this grid here I've created, everyone's going to go 1v1 at the same time. This player is going to try to dribble with control through one of these 3 gates. This player is going to try to win the ball, take the ball, and then dribble through these 3 gates. What I like to do is try to keep this short. So maybe 30 seconds to a minute, because it is going to be pretty tiring. And then you have the winner, whoever was able to get through the most gates, they get out of whatever fitness you want to do, jumping jacks, whatever, make it silly for them. And then I would give them a break. And that break can be go get a water break. It could be, hey, sit down. We're going to talk about what worked well. It could be, hey, just switch partners. So you have a different partner this time. And what I think it really focuses on is, yes, they're going 1v1, but it's 1v1 within context. So they beat someone and they dribble directly into another kid that was dribbling that way. So, hey, great, you beat the man, but then you lost the ball as soon as you beat him. That's not really an effective way of scoring. So what I really like about this is it forces them to keep their heads up. Can be a little crazy because you got a lot of people playing at once. But as they get it, they kind of start recognizing, okay, hold the ball up, hold the ball up. Now there's space, now go. And again, you can get different with it. You can do different things with it. This person scores to make it take it, or they can leave it, and the other person then gets the ball, and you transition, go back and forth, whatever you want to do. But that's a good activation warm-up to get them go 1v1, comfortable with the ball, keeping their heads up when they dribble. The next drill I'll move on to is another dribbling drill, but the concept changes a little bit here, where they are dribbling to create a shot or a pass. We'll move this guy over here. So we go over here, and what we'll have is a grid. We can have both grids filled up. For now, we'll have this grid, and it goes 1v1 in this box. So this player goes in the box. This player steps up to defend. This player goes up to the line. This player goes up to the line. What we're looking at here is for this player to beat their mark, take the ball into space, and it doesn't have to be much space. I always talk about half spaces, quarter spaces. You see Twine in terms of the goal, fire off a shot. You're not going to get tons of space the higher levels you go. So start looking to not create the perfect shot, to create shots or passes. So as soon as there's a little bit of space, we're looking for this player to pass to the player on the end line. This player then goes to the end of this line. This player goes to the end of this line. And as soon as this player takes the ball, we start with another 1v1. So it's a grid high tempo 1v1 drill. It's although you got players in lines, they're in lines for a very short period of times. And even though they're in line, they're actively in the game because they're going to have to receive that next pass. They have to be paying attention to what's going on. So then what I would do from there is I would create a 4v4, but as a 4v2, a 6v4. So these grids would probably be a little bit bigger here, but just for the demo and the amount of space we have, we'd have 4 guys in here on each team. So obviously grid is going to be a little bit bigger than this. And then you'd have 4 on the other side. And then what we'd have is we'd have 2 black players here and 2 yellow players here, plus your 2 yellow defenders, or 4 yellow defenders. And you'd play possession. So 4v4 over here, Whichever team is able to complete 4 passes first wins. So we start with just 4v4. They then try to transition over to this grid, the ball over to this grid. And as soon as they do, it's a 4v4 plus these 2 enter. So it's a 6v4. So by gaining possession, you gain that advantage. So you're really focusing on trying to keep possession because it's going to make your life easier. So as soon as they lose the ball, let's say black wins it, they are able to win it and then possess it, 4 passes, or we can cut it down to, it's 4 passes if they're on offense. We can cut it to 3 passes or 2 passes, just something quick as like an outlet pass. So 1, 2 to create the space for the outlet pass, and they switch. Now, for 2 black players enter, and it's 6v4 on this side. So you're trying to quickly, as soon as you win possession, 1, 2, find the switch and go. And you're on offense, you're trying to possess a little bit longer, trying to draw the numbers in to create these concept of them passing and switching these fields. So again, the idea is the ball is moving from side to side quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, switch it. You win the ball, 1, 2, and then switch. And just getting that concept down of we want to possess, but we don't want to possess in one area. We want to possess and then transition. Possess and then switch the field. So then what we would move on to is a little bit more of a passing pattern that's really active, and it's going to, especially the guys in the wings, are going to get a lot of conditioning. So it's not something you want to do the day before a game for sure, but it's definitely a concept you want to introduce to start establishing the idea of getting wide, but also establishing the runs in the box. So at each blue cone, you'd have a player. And I don't want to put too many players in to muddle up this concept, but so we start here, this player here, passes to this player, passes to this player, and it creates a little bit of a combination effect. And what's going on with these players on the outside is they're going to start timing up their runs based on the passes that are going on. So if a pass gets messed up, you don't want this player to just start running straight because the game is slowed down. So pass here to this player. These players then are done. They're no longer involved in the drill. They're going to move up to these cones after the shot. This player creates an overlap from this player. They can lay it off. They can just cross into play it into space. And then that player plays a through ball to the wide player. So we've created combinations and split the ball out wide and for a runner on the outside. Then what we do is we start talking about what kind of runs we were going to make. I had this player that's made the overlap run make the near post run because that's the direction they're going. It's where they're going to be closest, where they're going to be able to get to the fastest, the closest point to the crosser, the fastest. So they're going to run to the near post. This player over here is going to, I have the line wrong here. This player is going to run, I would say, just between this area, between the PK spot and the 18, so they can get the ball that's going to come diagonal back to them for the finish. And then we have a player on the outside that's running. They can make the same kind of run where they're going to get the through ball that gets by this player, or you can make them have the run out here. So they're closing anything that comes over the top, they're closing it out. That's kind of down to whatever you do with your team. So again, we've got the concept of 1v1s, okay, that we're always going to try to introduce with our U12s. Continue with 1v1s over here. Now we're getting a game where we're getting lots of quick switches, transition. It's a little muddled, but then once you get you've got the kind of chaos going on, you switch it out to create less chaos and find more space. You go to walking it through with them with this technical drill or this passing pattern here. You're talking about getting wide, getting crosses off, but also what types of runs need to be in the box for these crosses to be effective. And then I would finish with a game where I'm maybe altering it so that goals from crosses or goals from the end line are worth 3 points, whereas regular goals are 1 point. And again, it's up to you. Whatever numbers you got, make it small-sided, make it a full-sided game with the goalies, whatever kind of works best for your team. But really focus on introducing the concepts of dribbling as always, but dribbling to create space for passes, especially to play passes out wide, to get crosses off and finishes within the box. So again, I'm Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching with the help of Academy Soccer Coach. Thanks for stopping by.